Well, hello everybody, and welcome to today's Cut Time webinar, Managing the Unmanageable, Keeping Your Music Program Organized in a Disorganized World. I see that we've got a number of people registered for tonight's webinar, choral directors, I see band and orchestra directors, parent boosters I even see, and some music and fine arts supervisor. And the good news is this tool is for all of you, and we're going to get to an overview of that in just a moment. Give you a little bit of information about who's speaking tonight. My name is Scott McCormick, and I serve as the Senior Manager of Education and Business Development here at J.W. Pepper. I also am the founder and president of the National Association of Music Parents, or AMP. And for many years, I served as the president and CEO of Music for All and Bands of America. So my history is that I've had a chance to work literally with hundreds, if not thousands, of music teachers and parent leaders. And to take it a step further, our whole family was kind of involved. Our daughter graduated high school a couple years ago, was heavily involved in music. My wife was a booster officer, vice president, and then president of an organization that ran about a $300,000 budget with over 250 students in the program, and obviously many more parents. So I feel like I've had a long history of understanding the place that many of you that are joining us are coming from. So I'm thrilled to be able to present tonight this program. So before we get started in the actual presentation, a couple of things that you need to know. We are recording this webinar, so within a day or so you're going to get another email that has a link to the actual recording that you can listen to again, watch, share with colleagues if you'd like, or other parents or teachers in your program. Throughout the time, you're going to have an option to submit your questions, and I would encourage you to do so. We're going to probably address most of those at the end, although I have two able-bodied assistants with me tonight, Tiffany and Carrie, that are joining us, and so you may get some answers via the chat window to you directly, but we're going to address most of those questions at the end of the evening. And you can see on your screen there's a questions button, and that's where you can ask those questions. All right, so let's dive in. So what is cut time? We use kind of three founding premises that we talk about: managing, basically the ability to assign ensembles roles and permissions, track dues and payments, view and print and export reports. We talk about organize, and from an organized perspective, we're talking about organizing your files and permissions and the assignments, keep an inventory of all your items, schedule events for different groups in your organization. And then the last premise is communication, or communicate. So manage, organize, communicate. And communication is just that, adding attachments to your emails and texts that you can send out, highlight important news and events of your program. You can assign, review, and grade work, all of that in one place. So I'm going to switch one more slide up here. So you're looking at the dashboard tool of Cut Time. So Cut Time is an online group management tool developed to pull all the items that you might be dealing with in multiple places and programs into one simple web-based tool. So I know a number of you out there and people that we've talked to since we've launched, there's people that are using Google for a database or other kind of databases. They might be using MailChimp for your email or some other email program. I know there's a lot of schools out there that use Remind for texting. And there's people that are using Excel spreadsheets to manage everything from inventory to you name it. And I'm sure some of you have Dropbox or cloud storage of some sort, but all of this and more can be accomplished from one cloud-based solution, obviously, that we call Cut Time. So we're going to jump right into the web view. So bear with me while I change screen views for you all. All right, and now you should be seeing my live screen, and yep, it looks like it's working. So we're now back on the landing page for a teacher, or in this case, an administrator. What I want to show you is on this homepage, this would be the place that you log into each day. This is your landing dashboard. Once you're in the program, these first three bullets, and you check them off. I've left the last one unchecked so you could see that, but this is sort of getting started in cut time, verifying your organization's cut time information. You're going to update your own personal information as a teacher, and then you're going to make sure that you're attached to at least one program that you participate in. Once you click all those boxes off, the next time you log in, that will not be seen. And as you scroll down, you're going to see members, and I'm going to go into all of these things a little bit more in detail as we go across the functionality. But this is a place that you would see any new members that are registering themselves, and we'll talk about how you get people in the system as well. Likewise, if you have volunteers who have stepped up to volunteer for volunteer opportunities, you're going to see that this person is said, I'm interested in a particular position, and then you have the ability to approve or decline that person. If you had repair requests from any students who have school-owned instruments, that would show up here. News section, this is another communication tool that we'll go into a little bit more in depth, but if I were a student or a parent and I logged in, the first thing that they would see every day is their news. So that's another engagement tool that you can use. This would be assignments, anything that you've assigned through the cut time program that you needed to review or grade would be showing up here. We have the ability when we create events or invite people to events to require them to RSVP. So when those RSVPs come through, you're going to see, or you're required, this is in my case, I've been invited to this and I need to say will attend or will not attend. That's what that is for. You're going to see a snapshot of financial obligations and any payments that have been made, any required forms, and then the demographic information. So this is the contact database information that is going to be similar for a student or a parent or you as a teacher. So obviously name, date of birth, if you have student ID, grade level, lockers, folders, all of the things you might want to store. You're going to keep track of email addresses here, which is how we're going to communicate out, as well as cell phone number so that you can text out, a physical address, and the like. This is program participation is going to show you a history, or the student or parent, a history of everything those folks have been involved with. So the longer you're in the program, this list will grow. Each person who registers has a place that they can store their own pictures. And then at the bottom of the page are things that are kind of important that we'll touch on as well. You can store emergency medical contact for your students in here. So I'll give you some real world applications to that. You create relationships in here. So I think I have my daughter showing as a relationship, and in the case of a student, they're going to include their parent or guardian in here, and that's the way you're going to be able to communicate with those folks as well and have them linked to the students. You can track uniform sizing, and again, we're going to go through the whole inventory piece. Here's a place where you can change password and create a new password if you like. The entire system is permissionable. So again, I'm in a director or an administrator view right now, and you'll see security settings. So I can go in if I happen to have a booster club or parents that assist or other helpers that are in the school. I actually could even do this with students, but I could give them access to the various different things. You know, maybe somebody is my treasurer and I want them just to have access to financials, or I want a booster president to have full admin rights. I can manage inventory and the calendar. All of those things are permissionable. Again, in the student side of things, you would be able to track any inventory or uniforms that have been assigned to those people, and then a notes section. So that's kind of the dashboard. And I'm going to scroll back up here so we can get into the details of each of those aspects. And now you'll see at the top, I'm going to touch one other item here a second. This box that you'll see up here that says Every Town High School West Music Program is actually a drop-down box. I have 2 schools in my application, and this would indicate that I have more than one program or one school in a district that would be in a district admin's place. So once more than one school from a district or one program, you might have a band, you might have an orchestra and a choir, all from a high school that all have their separate versions of this. Once you have multiples in here, whoever that supervisor is or admin for the district has access to actually go between all of those programs and check things out and kind of manage from an administration role. So if you're in a single application or you're a director, this box will not be on your screen, but I wanted to point that out for those of you that might be a district admin or a fine arts supervisor or even a building supervisor. Okay, so you'll see across the top, people, communications, calendar, financials, inventory, assignments, files and docs, and tools. These are each of the areas that we can manage in our program. So I'm going to start far left, people, because we need to get people into a system first. So you'll see in these drop downs, I can see members, I can see groups and ensembles. I can see just parents if I wanted to do that, if I had volunteers or donors. You can even manage your donor base in this program as well. But I'm going to just click into members right now. So you're going to quickly see a snapshot of everybody I have in my demo account. So that you can see I have 158 records in that account. Up here, I have the ability to search on many things. I can search on last name. I can narrow this by ensemble. So if I wanted to just see my concert band, I hit search, and now you see that I've dropped to 68 records. So those are all the students that are in that particular ensemble. If I wanted to even just go in and see my brass students for some reason, I could drop in and see that. I can even get into, if I wanted to drill in by position. So again, a lot of search capabilities. I'm going to go back to include all sections. There's a few ways that we get people into the system. You can add a person individually. We're going to recommend that you start by importing. So you can either import a file through this program here, and you're going to apply them or put them into a particular ensemble at first. But the other piece that I wanted to jump over, I need to jump over to our website real quick. I'm going to open the Cut Time website. Oops. This member sign up. So you could actually go in and give instructions to students or parents to go in, welcome to Cut Time, create your profile. So these are for you, you've already got a subscriber, you're already a subscriber and you want your students to register. You could actually, during a class period, go in and have them do this. So I can search, I'm going to just put in my local high school. Once I start typing, it's going to narrow to that particular group. So again, you would put in your group and it would narrow to that. You're going to select a position. Are they a student? You can see the various options, and then they're going to self-populate their data. Again, when you went back, I'm going to go back to the home page here real quick. When you go back to the home page, if they self-registered, that's where they're going to show up on your members that you need to approve or decline. So again, multiple ways to get folks in: self-registration, importing people, or the old-fashioned way, which I'm not going to highly recommend, but you could add a person individually. This might be most appropriate if you're in a place where you have new students that move in and you just have somebody you want to add and assign to a particular ensemble. You'll see that this, the application is pre-populated with pretty much all the things that you would see in a traditional school music program. So it's going to have band, orchestra, choir pre-populated. It's going to have all of the various kind of positions pre-populated. I'll get into it a little bit later, but that is all customizable. However, what you want to see, you might be a choir director and you don't necessarily want to see all of the band ensembles that are pre-populated. You have the ability to narrow that focus. Also, I can go in and take a look at groups or ensembles. So one of the other things that you'll see is this drop-down menu on multiple pages. Unlike other programs similar to this out there, you can actually be in any year at any time. So if I wanted to go back into the 2016-17 school year, I could do that. I'm in this current school year, I'm going to pick an ensemble, I'm going to run the report, and it's going to deliver me a roster of my concert band. I can extract that as a CSV if I needed to pull it out. I can print that. But again, you have the ability to do that. If I wanted to add people from here, I have that option. I am going to show you that you can go into 2018-19. So as we're starting to wind down this school year, you actually have the ability to start to build your program for next year. So that might be applicable in a marching band situation. I'm going to go into marching band 2018-19. I don't. So in another demo account, I have an actual class that I've uploaded as 2018-19. So you can just see some of that functionality. I mentioned parents and donors, volunteers. If you take donations in your program, you can actually track donations in the program as well. Next, I'm going to show you the communications function. And again, as I'm going along, if there are questions that you have, feel free to type them in, and the ladies may be able to answer them as we go. And if they're bigger questions, we will answer them at the end of this session. In our communications tab, we have the ability to send email and text out of the system. So again, based off of everything that we've pre-populated in there, I can do that same search and sort capabilities by ensemble if I wanted to do emails that way or text that way, by section, by position. Let's say I want to do something to my concert band. Well, I'll do this for the choir folks. So I want to do something to my concert choir, and I want to include their parents. So I go over here and click and send to parents and guardians. I would type my email, subject line. You can add an attachment of any size to the email attachment. We don't have a limit to the size of attachment, but be mindful that your recipient's provider may limit the size of an attachment that comes through. And then you type your message much like you would in any other email platform. You have the ability to customize that. You can add links here if you have a link you want to link off to a website, add photographs. Again, once it's in there, you can preview that message. And then you can see who it is that you selected to make sure that they're the people that you want to do. So let me just plug a couple things in here. I'll just put test. My typing and talking skills are not always the best. So if I'm going to preview that, I've got, if it were more fully vetted, you'd be able to see the details. I've got 51 people that are going to get that. If there's somebody I don't want to get this particular communication, I could click them off here, and when ready, I hit send. Or if I need to go back and edit. You have the same capabilities to text, except you're not going to have all of the same variables. You're going to have a text field. You're limited to 500 characters. Again, that is a big text, and some providers may come through as multiple, but you can sort however you would like to sort in that process. I'm actually going to jump back here for a second and share my presentation screen because, all right, I think you're seeing that now. And I'm going to advance to the next slide. So you can see now, first of all, QutTime is built from mobile up, and you're seeing a screenshot of my mobile device. So anything that I can do from my computer, I can also do from my handheld or my tablet. I'm going to just go through a real world scenario that we might deal with as educators. So, we have a large group out at a festival or an event, and the event has run late, and we want to inform our parents that are of the kids that are with us that the schedule is going to be a little late. So I'm going to just click on this and show you what that process looks like. I launched the QutTime program. You can see that it's pretty much everything that you see on the other side. I'm going to click into communications. I'm going to go to text, scroll down, and I'm going to select text because that's what I'm going to send. I can, again, narrow by ensemble. So we happen to be out with our concert band, and I want the parents to get that. And then I start typing my message. I'm actually going to pause this because my typing, again, is not the fastest. And then you'll see over here on the other screen, this is actually the text that came through. Our event is run late and the buses will not return to school until 11 p.m. Please plan to pick up your student at that time. Thank you for understanding, Scott McCormick. And you'll need to let people know that the texts and emails are coming from a no reply at cuttime.net so that they get used to that. But again, this is a real world situation that I think could make for a great way to do that. Some of you might be doing that in Remind, but here's an ability to do everything again from one program. While I'm here, I'm going to jump ahead to the next screen because you can see on the home page or on the piece, there's a message archive. Again, this would come in handy if I need to look back at last year or this year, what messages went out via email or text. It's going to keep a full record of all of that. That might come in handy next year when you come around to the start of the school and you want to see what did I do in September or October, and then you could cut and paste and replicate those messages in the next year. All right, I'm going to jump back here into the program for a second, and then we'll actually go back to the live screen. And we're going to jump over into calendar. So we're thrilled. A couple weeks ago, we launched a new calendar functionality, and it feels and looks very much like a Google Calendar would. And within a matter of couple of weeks, we're actually in the testing phase right now. We'll actually be able to share your cut time calendar across to a Google Calendar that you might use or a parent might use. So that functionality will come into very handy if you already have a calendar that you're using in Google. But again, just a couple of overview pieces here. We're looking at April this past month, and you'll see things that are in different colors. You have the ability, I'm going to show you how you go in and create an event, but you have the ability to specify colors. You might want to create a legend around specific things. So in this case, I've created orange as a color that I'm using for any of our winter programs that are outside the school day. I've used brown for things that are related to class-driven pieces. Our jazz band, I used a teal color. And then anything that's parent-related, I created a purple color. So again, you might want to create your own legend. Up here, you can see you can sort. This is going to come in handy once you get a calendar really populated. And I want to drill in and just take a look at what's happening with my wind ensemble and my concert band. And I hit filter. And now everything else is going to be gone except those items that are related to those particular groups. This also comes into handy for a parent. As a parent, I always would love to see the ensembles that my child was involved with. There's a list view, and I can go in and drill back into that and just say what's applicable to my concert band and my wind ensemble and filter, and it's going to give me that piece. You can do that. A parent can print that out at their leisure. So another great functionality in that process. The red dot's always going to identify the day you're on. There is a week view. So in the week view, again, that red line is going to show you where you are, and then the day view. So I'm going to just jump back to today. I'm going to jump back a week or two so you can see that I had some multiple things in the last couple of weeks. But again, total flexibility in how you do this, but creating your own legend, adding an event. I'm going to show you what that looks like so that you are able to see the specifics I'm talking about. So again, you're going to create the event title. You're going to specify the date and time. You have the ability to make this a repeating or recurring event. So is this a rehearsal that happens weekly? Is this a daily event? Is this something that happens once a year? But again, you have that capability to do. Up here, or here actually are the colors. So we're pre-populated with 15 colors. That's where I was talking about. You might want to create a legend and use those colors either by ensemble or kind of group. Again, up to you how you do that. Again, I mentioned that things are pre-populated with ensembles and groups. You can make these calendar listings applicable to just those groups or leave it as all ensembles. Here's where you would manage adding or deleting those ensembles that I talked about. I'll show you how to do that here in a bit in the tools section as well. You can create a type. So we've pre-populated some things, everything from a performance to a rehearsal, maybe an audition or a special event. You can add and manage those as well. Then you're going to put the address in. Once you populate an address on the parent side, when they get a calendar listing or yours, it's going to populate that address. So if they're on their mobile device and they want to go take a look at how do I get there, they can open that calendar event, click on the address, and it's going to open Google Maps and take them on the routing that'll get there. You see you have the ability to put a cost to a particular event, put contact information for the person who's the organizer if there's a website. Here's where you can create the need that you want to have an RSVP. So you can require them to respond to you for a particular event on a particular day, and it's going to automatically send an email reminder out about that. And also if this event requires volunteers, you can check that as well. I'm going to jump back into the calendar so you can see how that looks. I'm going to jump back into last month. So any of these icons, let me see if I can blow that up a little bit for you. Yeah, any of these icons where there's a double head here in front of it would indicate that that's an event that there's volunteer opportunities for. Again, I'm going to go back in to the top here. I did the ad event, we showed calendar, and then here's a list of all of the volunteer opportunities that are out there. So this is a history in my demo account. You can see the newer ones are up in here. I am going to jump out of the admin role here, and I'm going to jump back into my test account as a student. So this is actually what the platform looks like to a student or parent. Again, I said the first thing that they see is news. Click on, and that's another communication tool that we have that I didn't touch on, but we have an entire news section that you can give that. So this Saturday, May 5th, our top concert groups performing at the state showcase at Exton High School. Whatever it is, or you want to acknowledge a performance and put photographs in there, you have the ability to do that and keep your people engaged. But what I wanted to show you is they have the ability to see their assignments, they can see the calendar functionality, they can see all of those volunteer opportunities. So if I'm a parent and I've created volunteer opportunities that I need help with from an educator perspective, I can go in as a parent and see here's the opportunities are there. I'm interested in doing that. I click this button, and again, back on the director's page or teacher's page or admin's page, you're going to see a list of those volunteers who have stepped up. Okay, real quick, I'm going to pop back out of this and go back into teacher mode. All right, so we're back here. So that's the calendar functionality. We're going to jump over to financials. Again, we are not claiming to be a full-fledged accounting program. What we are is an opportunity to track and manage financial obligations that are owed to us in our program. So right now what you're looking at is the ledger of everybody in my demo account that owes us money. I get an alphabetical list. I can see the total obligations that they owe, any payments that they've made, and the amount due in a snapshot form. And if I want to drill into a student who kind of owes us a lot of money and I'm wondering about what those details are, that's going to take me over to Maggie's piece. Now this is if I'm Maggie or Maggie's parents, this is what I see. So that was another thing as a parent in the program that we were in our school. You never really had a clear understanding of what you owed and what you had paid. So we tried to make this as easy and user-friendly as possible, so you can see all of the obligations that Maggie has, when they were assigned, when they were due, the total amounts, any amounts that have been paid, and any balances. And then down below is a listing of all of the payments that have been made. So if I'm the treasurer and Maggie has sent in a payment, I go into record payment. Let's just say that today they sent us a $150 check. And I'm going to make that check number that. And I can put a memo, you know, this is going to be a partial payment. And you'll see now that you have the ability, here are the things that they owe money for. So you could go oldest first, or if it was particular payment for a particular thing, or it's split. let's just say they're paying $100 towards their color guard season fee, and we're going to put the balance to their trip. And when I hit save, I'm going to now go back, and you're going to see that those payments have been registered for the trip on this day, and those amounts have been lowered. So again, a very clean place. If I need to email statements out, I can do that. I can print statements. This is going to generate where I would email that statement out. I'm going to just, I think I can show you. Yeah, it's going to open. This is what the statement looks like. So again, a very clean shot of what that looks like. So you could print these out, send them home with your students, or this is the email that they would be receiving on their end. So financial obligations we touched on. Adding an obligation, again, here I'm going to add an obligation. We've got a summer music camp fee, and it's for this school year, and the amount's going to be $100. The due date, go in and create the due date. You can put any notes in. Once I save, that's now going to be in our list of obligations. Sorry, go back to my obligations. And then I'm going to just pull up one that I've got in here. So this is a marching band fee I've created for next year. Once you create those different obligations, you'll see this button that says people required to pay the obligation. So now you're going to have a full list of everybody in your database. And I'm showing all people. I can select all, I can deselect. If I had ensembles plugged into 2018-19, I could go into those ensembles and select all and put it to a particular ensemble. So again, very easy to track and manage that process. I see I'm starting to get to the bottom of the hour, and I've got 15 minutes less, so I'm going to talk a little bit quicker and maybe not go into as much detail. Inventory, we have 3 areas. You can see on inventory: music library, attire, and instruments and other. So when we launched, we had 1 inventory program, and since then we've done 2 major upgrades to the inventory, which was adding our music library, as well as adding attire, which literally just launched today. I'm going to jump into music library so you can take a look at this. Most everybody's got one that they need to manage. You can, again, search by title, by composer, by type of category. Once I go into band, if I want to narrow that further, I can go into concert band, hit a search of all my concert band pieces. I want to go in and take a look. You'll see, because we are JW Pepper, we have a link here, and if I click on this button of Armenian dances, it's going to open another screen, which is going to take me over to the Pepper site for that particular piece. I can get any details. I can look at a score or listen to the recordings that are there. If we're using this for festival and we need to order additional scores or whatever, you have the ability to do that. So another added benefit of us being a Pepper company. I'll just show you, I don't think I have, because it's brand new, I haven't uploaded any inventory from an entire perspective, but again, you can break this down into the type of event or type of group that you have, or you can, these are all customizable, so we've pre-populated with typical things. So there's dresses and maybe uniform parts and robes for choirs, stoles. Again, all of that, you can see who's it has been assigned to, if they're active, if it's unassigned. Again, totally searchable and drillable in that side of things. On the assignments tab, it's literally just that. So here's all of the assignments that we've created. We have the ability to send assignments out to particular students. So I'm going to just open one of these updates that I've created before. So the assignment was, this is a test assignment I created, place scales for the teacher, the date it was assigned, the due date. What do I want them to do? I want them to record a video. So they're going to record yourself. You can put whatever assignment and instructions in there and hit save. And then again, like the financial piece, we have the ability to assign that to students. So I can go in by ensemble or group, or if it's everybody. Let's just go into concert band, and then it's going to give me a list of all of my concert band students. I can scroll down, and Pete needs to get that, and Victor needs to get that. And I'm going to add those people, and now those people now have gotten that. And now on their application, it's going to show an assignment, and they're actually going to get an email that says a new assignment has been given to you. So kind of a cool functionality. One of the other partnerships that we recently created was a partnership with Music First. And I'm going to just jump over and open the Pepper website so you can see that. If you scroll down and want to get some more information about Music First, or even get a free trial, so we've got a group management tool and a learning management tool that are linked. If you happen to be a Music First customer, you can do your assignment process through that as well. The files and docs is literally that. We use a drawer and folder system. Again, you create your drawers, however many drawers you want. Within that, you create your folders, so however many folders you need. And within that, you store your documents. So this is actually real cloud storage. There's no limit to the size of things that you would keep in here. So you can keep documents, or if you wanted to upload audio files or video files, again, it's free cloud storage, so you can use it to the best of the ability. I just heard a report from a band who's actually going to use this for their marching band, where they've had custom arrangements done. They're actually going to create a marching band folder, and then within that folder, they're going to upload all of the music in there, and when they get drill, they're going to upload all of the drill in there and send an assignment to their students, where they can be told to go and download those so they can get a PDF and put it on their smart device. No more having to print all of that paper if you want to go electronic. So just another cool application that we're hearing about that people are doing. And then the tools section is the final section. So this is where, on the tools side, this is where you can configure your program. This is where you would manage your subscription. But again, if I were in ensembles and groups and I didn't want to have particular things, I have the ability to delete or add ensembles. Again, total flexibility on all of those fronts: attire, music library, inventory, the kind of calendar events. On the left-hand side are all of the reporting pieces. So if I need to run rosters, or a list of my parents, or all of the communications or financial obligations. So if I need to see all of the financial obligations, here they are. I can get a quick report. I can extract that. If I'm using QuickBooks and need to load that information into an accounting program, I have the ability to do that. Again, one of the things I'll touch on here is promote end of the year. So one of the other things that's a benefit here, is I touched on, you can be in any year at any time, but when you get to the end of the year, you can actually promote selected people. So I'm going to filter by grade level, and if I were, take all my ninth graders, I'm not sure what I have in here, and I want to filter ninth graders. I don't have them. So if I had ninth graders, it would show me my ninth graders. I want to promote them to 10th grade, and I'm going to select the school that they're going to. If you happen to have middle school, your middle school and high school in the program, it'll track the students all the way through as long as they're in the same district. So when it comes time for your 8th or 9th graders to be promoted to high school, you can keep that data on that student through all of those pieces. So a very easy promotion at the end of the year. And then I'm often asked about data and backup. So we have a very secure server. We're on Amazon servers, so that's why we can do as much storage as we want at the prices that we offer. It's a very secure site, but to make sure, if you want to back up your data at any time, you have the ability to run those backups and back it up to your own device, just as a safeguard. And so that brings me to that's really kind of the overview of the entirety of the piece. The one thing I wanted to show you is, you'll probably see this help screen throughout, but if you click on it, it's going to take you to our help area, where there are tutorials and screenshots. If I don't remember how to add people, I can click on importing a spreadsheet, and that's going to show me screenshots and what all of that needs to be. I will also touch on and tell you that we are our customer service is pretty amazing. We have the ability for you to call in 6 days a week and talk to a live person. So if you aren't able to find through the tutorial those answers, you can call and speak to a person. If it happens to be in the middle of the night, like you're a teacher and you're up doing something, you can actually add a ticket to that and our folks will get back to you right away. What I'm going to encourage, if you haven't already done so, this is another snapshot of the website. You'll see this button that says start a free trial. You can do a 30-day free trial, no obligation. You're not putting any credit card information in, and actually use the tool as if it were yours. And if you decide to purchase it, you just pick up from where you left off and that trial becomes a subscription. So I would encourage you guys to get in and actually load data and play around with it and see if it is a tool that works for you. I will tell you that right now we are running, from a pricing perspective, you can get 15 months for the price of 12. So that means that if before June 30th you subscribe, you'll actually get 3 months free. But here are the basic prices for a year. The basic subscription is applicable mostly to maybe a small school or a community group, maybe a church choir or a community band, things that are operating with one ensemble. That's applicable, the $99. But for most schools, we're finding them to be standard, where you can have as unlimited ensembles for $299 a year. I will point out this section down here that I talked about it being a district ability for you to use it within a district or multiple subscriptions. Once a second ensemble purchases from your district, the pricing of $299 drops to $199 for each. So if you purchase at $299 and your middle school joins later, you're going to get a credit and they can get for $199. Once we get above 5 licenses, that price of $199 drops again. So the more folks that are in there from your district, bigger districts, the pricing gets better. Wanted to point that out to you. And we've come to the time where we actually have about 5 minutes left for questions and answers. So I am going to pop my question and answers open here and see what we've got here. Can you show me more music library samples for choral music? Yeah, let me pop back in. I can do that real quick. So again, if I were in here and I wanted to go and see just choir, so you can see my instrument voicing now shows me typical instrument voicings for my choral pieces. I'm not quite sure what I have in my demo account here, but let's just search and see if I have anything in here. Unfortunately, I didn't unload that up, but you would have the same view as you would on the band side of things. Again, we've kind of customized this to reflect the pieces that are appropriate to your particular ensembles. All right. Let me get back to my questions here. So is there, let me get back to the top here. There's a bunch of questions. I will tell you that if we get to the end and we're not able to answer all of these, it looks like a number of them have been answered via the chat window. Find anything. It looks like all of them were able to be answered. But if you have other questions, let me pop back to my other screen here and give you our contact information where we can do that. info@cuttime.net. Feel free to drop us an email. If you're in another program or you're in a place where you have lots of spreadsheets and you need to get information into that, we offer a concierge service that will actually help you take your CSV files, whether that's from another program or Excel spreadsheets you have, and we'll actually get you started and uploaded into your particular application so you can start fresh and have all of your data there. Again, so our 800 number, you'll get to a cut time specialist. They can walk through that with you. If you want a deeper dive and have specifics, we'll be happy to schedule a one-on-one meeting where we can actually go into the application and work through and screen share and show you those things. So again, send us an email or call us on the toll-free number. We are now to the place where I've got 1 minute left to say, from all of us at the Cut Time team, I want to thank you for joining us. I hope this has been helpful. Again, we are here to serve you. We'd love to have you in the program. If there are other questions that we haven't been able to address, hit us with an email. Hope you have a great rest of your evening. Thank you for joining us, and be checking out. We'll have some future deeper dives on our webinars. Will go deeper dives onto specific things. We have one coming up in a couple of weeks featuring just the calendar functionality. We'll do another one a few weeks after that are the year-end closeout processes. So keep an eye out for those webinar announcements. Again, thank you very much for joining us. Until next time, goodbye.